Greetings, friends. We're glad you've joined us. And of course, my phone has just started to ring here. I'm getting rid of that. Of all things, I forgot to turn off my phone and that decides to ring. Wouldn't you know? But I was just telling Yenedi, we're real people doing real life here, and sometimes stuff happens. So here we go, right at the beginning. Anyway, we're very glad that you're here with us. And we're first episode here of Destination France. And if France is on your bucket list for travel in the near future or the distant future, you will definitely want to stay tuned to learn more about France and stay tuned. Come join us each week and discover which way to approach France might fit best for your personal travel preferences and style. Also stick with us to the end as I have a special giveaway drawing for our live listeners only. So stay tuned. You could get your name in the pot and be this week's lucky winner. Now, anyway, you're welcome to Let's Talk Travel. I'm Pat Hand, and we want to welcome our very special guest this evening, Yenedi Perez. And Yenedi is the Business Development Director for the Southeast region of Ponant Cruises. Yenedi, thank you for joining us again. We're always so glad to have you on board.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. It is a pleasure. It's my Ponant pleasure to be here with you today and your guest. I am so excited to share with you our Ponant differences. We are we are owned by a French billionaire, Francois Pinault, but it's part of the Artemis Group. And one of the things that I love the most is that we also have partnerships with Zodiacs International, with Christie's Action House. So by what I'm saying right now, it's that our company, it's very financially stable. And the fact that none of our expeditions or yachting experiences will be compromised based on any financial instability. But I gotta say something. Ponant has been in existence for over 33 years. And one of the most exciting things that I will share with you today, it's the fact that we have alliances. Of course, we do have alliances with National Geographic, but the most recent one and the most exciting one I can share with you, it's the fact that we have 18 sailings with Smithsonian Journeys.
Wow,
and
that's
this
huge.
Is absolutely, and this is a small ship expedition to awaken your sense of wonder. So Ponant and Smithsonian are embarking on a new frontier, a collection of unparalleled experiences focused on culture, history, and expeditions. And this is all for 2022 sailings. And the great thing about this is not only are we going to have Smithsonian Journeys experts, we'll host a series of enlightening discourses on board, but also bespoke shore excursions that are included in each port of call, providing ease and enrichment for every program. I mean, we're talking about 18 sailings, 2 Smithsonian Journeys on each departure. So there will be great entertainment and learning opportunities on board and offshore our ships. Transfers will be included from the airport to the pier, as well as I said, every single shore excursions will be included. There will be a choice on many ports of call, or it will be it depends on the itinerary, if it's a yachting experience or an expedition experience. But certainly one shore excursion will be included in every single port of call. And this is just internal flights are also included depending on the destination, such as Antarctica. Also from Paris to Longyearbyen to do the Arctic and see the polar bears. I am so excited today to share this information with you, as well as, of course, all the Ponant inclusions, such as the open bar, the gratuities, the Wi-Fi. So there's no nickel and diming on this cruise line. There's a price to get on, but there's no price to get off.
That is amazing. I love that. I love that model because especially when people are booking an upscale cruise. They don't want to be nickel and dime for this little thing, that little thing. Paying for every drink they order from the bar, or and excursions. Boy, those can add up in a hurry. But but before we get off too far off, I'd love to let people. I love when our people get acquainted a little bit with you as a person. Can you just give us a little bit of a hint about how you gravitated into the travel business and then found your way to Ponant?
Absolutely, Pat. Pat, I've been in the industry for 26 years. So I'll give you a little.
You were obviously 4 years old, maybe, when you started.
Sure. Oh, yes. Thank you, Pat, but not really. Well, I began my career at the age of 16. My godmother owned a travel agency, so I used to stay book. Do you remember those tickets that you used to stay book? Okay.
Yes.
And the prepaid ticket advice and the MCOs and all that. Well, I started doing that at a very early age. However, when I turned, it was 2 weeks to 18 years old, I started working for Royal Caribbean as a reservation agent back in 1995. So I started my career there. Gradually, I'd moved up into the company to do ARC, as well as sales and sales communication and incentive groups and incentives. So if you have groups and incentive that you want to work with me, I will be more than glad to help you. Have great ideas for groups. But and then I was a business development manager for Norwegian Cruise Line for 6 years. Wonderful, all of them are wonderful cruise lines. And then finally, I landed this magnificent job that I have right now with Ponant Cruises and Expeditions. And I have been blessed for 3.5 years to be the business development director for the Southeast region.
I'm just going to insert something in here for our listeners. The cruise industry that in general is such a great place. Get your foot in the door at an early age. You're going to have all kinds of opportunities. I mean, the travel opportunities come your way. I'm sure, been places that you might never have dreamed because you're part of this industry. I know I have, just as a lowly travel agent. But the career opportunities that come your way. You started as a reservation agent, answering the phones and booking cruises, and look here now, you're in Southeast region for Ponant Cruises. So it's just an industry where doors are open, and I just wanted to share that because I think it's a very good point about this industry that we're in and that we love. The cruise industry is so welcoming and open to advancement. Love that.
Pat, one thing that I must say, once that travel bug just bites you, you will never leave. I mean, the opportunities not only for enrichment, educations, for leisure, and it's a world that you'll never cease from learning. There's so many destinations that are here that we really need to once in a lifetime visit different places. And what I love about Ponant is that we sell over 450 destinations worldwide, all 7 continents. So it's like, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, it's really it's great, and this is a segue into our my question here about all luxury lines. I classify Ponant definitely as in the luxury market, but all luxury cruises are not the same. There's differences. Everybody has a niche. Kind of what sets Ponant apart in this market from some of the other luxury providers?
I would say Ponant has 12 beautiful ships, 1 sailing vessel, 4 sister ships that were built as for polar destinations, colder climate destinations. It were built specifically for that. They hold about 264 guests, 95% balcony cabins. Then those were built between 2010 and 2015. So I can tell you how modern our ships are, as well as 6 sister ships that are between 184 guests. Average capacity, I would say, we sell with 150 guests, 100% balcony cabins. And there's one very special ship that it's actually just doing test runs, and it's the first hybrid electric ship with also natural gas. That is the Le Commandant Charcot. There are only two ships in existence right now. They're able to reach the North Pole. They're classified as polar class 2, and Le Commandant Charcot is one of them. It is, yes, it goes all the way to the 90-degree latitude. I mean, it is just a beautiful luxury expedition ship. But what sets apart, and you've asked me that question, Ponant sets apart from the rest of the rest of the suppliers in the luxury and premium market. It's the immersive travel experience. When we talk about destinations, we're focused more into learning about the destination, the culture. Reason being is that we also have lectures on board that are, we really bring experts on board on destination and geology, geophysicists. So it's not only a leisure, but it's also an immersion travel experience with some cultural aspect to it.
So you've got the people who are intellectually curious and the people who are culturally curious, the lifelong learners. Great fit for you guys, huh?
But we also have the expedition adventurous type on board, because the destinations that we travel to are very unique, very small ports of call. We dock right into the destination, so we allot you more time to explore each destination, either on your own or on a very bespoke shore excursions, because they're very unique. And you get off the ship with just 100, possibly 150 guests. You're not rubbing elbows with your, fellow travelers anywhere. So it's just a very distinct destination. One thing that I love is it's the fact that our ships are built with Rolls-Royce stabilizers.
Wow.
Yes. So crossing the Drake Passage is not such a big deal for us because they were modern. They were built. I mean, our ships were built to the point from the oldest ship is 2011. They're all, every year they're revitalized, and then our newest ship, the Six Sixer ships, were built in 2018, two in 2019, and two in 2020. So they haven't really had the time to sell. They're brand new, they're beautiful. And one of the most exciting things that we offer, it's an underwater lounge.
Oh, I love this. I love this.
The Blue Eye Lounge, you can hear the ocean from 3 miles away. So it's more of a champagne, cognac type of lounge area where you can hear the ocean, you can see marine life going by. I mean, it's just such an exceptional
I mean, you have a real underwater window there to see. You look at the surface of the ocean and you can't see too much, but wow, that just opens your eyes to what's really out there. I love, love, love that. You would probably not be able to tear me away from that lounge during a sailing. It's really, and another thing, we are talking about France here, but you guys have a very international experience on board. I understand your cuisine and your atmosphere affects your destinations, and it reflects, not affects. It reflects your destinations, but you also have just a little bit of a French twist on every sailing, right? There's just a little feeling of if you got one toe at least in France along the way.
Yes, it is a French touch. I would call it the French touch. It's pretty much about the way we sell. We sell under very strict maritime laws, very strict, and that's because we sell with a French flag. There is a twist to our gastronomy on board. However, Pat, I had mentioned that we're more about the regional gastronomy, the places we visit. So not only do we bring the experience offshore, but on board as well. For example, I was in a very interesting call this morning, in video call, and I was able to see the Le Commandant Charcot going into the North Pole. Well, we had Inuits on board. It's indigenous community of the Greenland and all that the North Polar region. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. So we do have that regional touch. So you have more of a a more of an experience and destination. We do have macaroons. We have the best French butter on board. We have displayed a table. It's a huge display of cheeses, French. The bread is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's just in beef Wellington. It's one of my favorite ones. Salmon Wellington. I had the opportunity on sailing in La Soleil. It's one of the beautiful ships, one of the sister ships from Vancouver down to San Diego. And the chef made this amazing salmon Wellington. Oh my gosh, it was just phenomenal. And it's from locally, and because we outsource locally, it makes such a unique gastronomy experience, and with a touch of that French touch. So we
I
have
love it.
also, if since we have 24-hour room service, if you desire your hamburger or hot dogs or pizza or whatever, or even French fries or whatever your heart desires, we have that as well. So we cater for our eclectic international clientele. So it's quite, I mean, everyone feels very welcome. We have a very friendly staff on board. Our staff comes from, majority of the service staff comes from probably Singapore. We do have Filipinos on board. I mean, it's just, we have even Chilean, it's from everywhere.
Just very international.
Very international, yes. And one of the, you can see the French decor on board. It's definitely the staterooms, the suites. It's just a very, lots of light coming in. It's a very, very natural colors on board. The blues, I mean, the hues of blues, and you definitely have the, on the I would say the Explorer class vessels are, the decor is very light. So it's just absolutely beautiful. It's really understated elegance, and it's not stuffy. It is a country club casual atmosphere. If we don't require coats or anything, no, no suits, no long dresses, none of that. I mean, you
Okay,
are
so
on vacation. It's
okay,
leisure.
I love that. A
Yes.
lot of one of the things our clients will always want to know is a dress code. I mean, we still have clients who love to do that dress to the nines things, and there are places, we have cruise lines that they can sail on, but more and more these days, our clients are not wanting to drag a tuxedo and a ball gown along. They're wanting to just, be able to wear their polo shirt to dinner, and that's going to be acceptable. So good to know always. There's so much to see and experience, and your Ponant uh, itineraries are so diverse. But we're kind of trying to focus a little bit of France here. So I know you have some itineraries. I've picked out a few here that do kind of feature France along the way. So we're kind of going to focus a little bit on those. One of them that I picked out here today is this one.
Wow.
And this one is called the Charming Mediterranean Shores, and you look at that beautiful itinerary there. You got Rome and Portofino, Bonifacio, and I will slaughter some of these. My pronunciation is not the best, but it's absolutely beautiful. And then you have an incredible experience with this.
I wanted to share something with you, Pat. We have an exceptional, also the landscape and islands of the North Atlantic. It's from Bordeaux to Dublin.
Ah,
Yes, it's absolutely beautiful. And it goes from basically Bordeaux, where you can do a pre-package and visit, of course, the most famous wine region of France. But it goes into Saint Malo, Guernsey, Dartmouth, the Eye of Scilly, Kinsale, and then you end up in Dublin.
Wow.
That sailing is from May 7th through May 15th of next year. And the rate for new Ponant guests is $3,340. And then
Wow,
it's
that's incredible for a cruise at this level of, we're talking a luxury cruise, folks, for way less than $5,000 to get
exactly.
your feet
And
on board.
And then you also have a historic cities of the Atlantic coast from Lisbon, and then it goes to Vigo. Also Vivao, which is the north of Spain, beautiful place. Saint John de Luz, Saint Malo, Honfleur, and that one is on May 5th of next year. And guess what? The rate is very inexpensive. The rate is 31.70.
Wow.
And
Here
for
again, that's amazing, folks, to be able to get your I have a mosquito after me. This is reality, folks.
at its best,
So we have that's fabulous. That's an incredible rate to sail with Ponant on
it's
one of these.
affordable luxury at its best.
Oh, excellent. Here's another itinerary that I had just saved an image of that takes you to the wine regions. This one's 10 nights, and you go Lisbon to Bordeaux, and you end up with that overnight in Bordeaux in the French region there. And I mean, folks, look at these pictures here. Lisbon, and here you got Porto. It's just, and of course up in Bordeaux you've got the wine country. It's just, it just takes your breath away to see some of these options. And
That's what makes Ponant unique. It's the every single itinerary is just carved out to the best. And the fact that we dock right into very small ports of call, very different from your mass market cruise lines. Nothing wrong about that, but we really detailed every single itinerary. So you have the most amazing experience in small ports of call that are either only known to locals, or you can only get there by tourists. But it's very unique, and the fact that you can do pre and post packages, because we don't really repeat a lot of the destinations, so you can continuously do back to back sailings in the comfort of the same stateroom without having to pack and unpack. It is just, I would say that Ponant offers the most extensive list of and unique itineraries, and that's one thing that I will say over and over again. It's really about immersive travel experiences. We dock in Venice. We still dock in Venice. We go into Dubrovnik, Croatia, and we do cross the Corinth Canal.
wow.
Yes, and the Corinth Canal is very, very small.
Yeah, you're not going to go through there on an Oasis class ship. And there is a lot to be said. A lot of the cruise lines will have a set itinerary that they'll sail 7 weeks, or for several weeks, doing the same itinerary and hitting the major cities. But if you've been there and done that, and you're ready to explore off the beaten path, and get these ships with Ponant, these itineraries. And again, if you're looking for a longer sailing, you want to do 30 days. If you want to fly over, you're going to be there anyway. Why not make the most of that flight and do 3 to 4 weeks and see some of these more out of the way, unique places that the average traveler never really has an opportunity to see.
Exactly. And Pat, I wanted to also offer, there is a $300 savings per person for first time cruisers.
Huh?
Yes. So every time you go and you see an itinerary that just pleases your eyes, and that's the one that you want to go on, you can remove $300 off per person. That's a $600 savings per stateroom. There is also a $100 onboard credit for each itinerary.
Wow, so that's very good. That's $400 per person right there in your pocket. So savings right off the top. There's another itinerary that I really just captured my imagination here again. Mostly these are little places that are out of the way that the average cruiser is never going to see. And I love the name, Between the Wild Coast and Lighthouses. So if you're a lighthouse aficionado and you love those romantic lighthouses, you're going to see several of them on this particular itinerary.
And one very important aspect of this itinerary, did you know that there are several ports of call that we actually use our Zodiacs to get there, because they're quite remote, and we just really want to give you an expedition type of experience.
So even in these small ships can't pull into the pier there. You land by Zodiac. How thrilling! How fun! And for
It's very easy to get in and out of a Zodiac from our ships. If you can get in and out of an SUV. And one more thing that very important for Ponant is that our ship are all AD8 compliance. We have AD8 staterooms available. We have lifts. If there's a stairwell, there will be lifts to allow you to go into from one level to the other. Of course, we do have elevators, but there are some places that will allow you to go into other places on the ship, and it's lift. And
wow, this is wonderful. What about solo passengers? Are you welcoming to the single person traveling?
Can I tell you, I'm very excited about that. We have over 104 sailings with no single supplement for 21,
wow.
22, and 23. And even Antarctica, if that is on your bucket list, Antarctica is offering no single solo supplement.
If you are a solo traveler, you don't have a companion to travel with you, this is something you really want to take note of, because you could sail without pay. Usually you pay double, folks. That's just the way the cruise industry is set up. If you're a single traveler and you book a balcony stateroom, you're going to pay for two people, whether you occupy that as a solo or if you have a companion. So this is a huge deal. If you are a solo traveler, take note of this. Ask us about it. We're happy to give you options of what you might prefer in the way of itineraries. Here's an image from that lighthouses and Wild Coast that I loved. I just love that. So I just wanted to throw that in here.
Great picture.
Yeah.
Just absolutely beautiful. And the fact that we have very unique shore excursions, it makes it even much more wonderful.
Yeah, and they're included.
And most of them are included. For example, for the Smithsonian journeys, all the shore excursions are included, for expeditions as well. For some yachting experience, some shore excursions are not included. However, we're giving you onboard credit to pay for some of them. And quite honestly, since we dock right into the destination, there is no need for long bus rides or any expensive shore excursions. They're very inexpensive. They're going to be between $50 to $100. Not more than that. And we're giving you in if you are an AARP member, you also receive $100 onboard credit per member.
Wow, excellent. So many ways to just tick off those small savings add up, folks. And what surprises people for the first time that they sail on Ponant? What would you say kind of surprises them they didn't expect?
The service on board, it's absolutely exceptional. The fact that you have places to just relax, or there are two things you can do on board: either be entertained by our lectures or be entertained by our, although it feels like you're sailing on your own private yacht, and you have lots of space for yourself. And if you want to share a lecture with, and also the fact that we have a full-size theater that has cabaret style shows at night. So there's lots of entertainment, believe it or not. And one of the most wonderful things that I always say, it's the fact that we have an open bridge policy, and guests can go and speak to the officers or the captain. And really the captain, it's, I would call him the cruise director one, and then the regular cruise director he's number two, because the captain is so involved with the guest, and that is such an Ponant experience.
Okay, that is unusual, folks. Usually the captain of the vessel is kind of remote. He's not an accessible individual on most of the cruise lines. You'll see him around, but you don't really approach him for.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit more about our formal night. How about that? The formal night. The formal night is actually the captain waits for you at the entrance of the restaurant. He takes a picture with every single guest.
Wow.
He'll have a drink at the cocktail party, but it's more about really, interacting with our guest.
That is way cool. I love that.
Our captain is very hands-on, not only on the ship, but with the interaction with our guests. And the same with our cruise director. Our expedition leaders are just very, just
like approachable and
I would say very approachable. And also you're going to find some that are just having lunch with our guests or having a conversation, a casual conversation. It doesn't have to be just the lectures. They are readily available to speak to our guests. So
I love it.
What I can tell you is, people might say, oh, but it's a French cruise line. Yes, we do sell under French flag, and we're very proud of that because our safety and security measures are just top of the line. And I'll tell you, we sailed last year during COVID. Starting July 31st, we sailed over 40 journeys. We sell with over 3,000 guests in total, and we have safety and protocol measures in place way before any other cruise line, because we had the opportunity to put everything in place and make sure that it was not just a trial, it was a for sure.
Okay, so your safety and health protocols are tried and true. They have been well over a year now that you guys have been sailing and managing to do so safely in the midst of this international pandemic that we can't seem to get out of.
Pat, and one other thing is that I really want to share this with you. We have the latest technology not only on our vessels, but the mini hospital that we have on board. We have a 24-hour nurse as well as doctor.
Very, very good. And that's important this day and age. You need, life happens even when you're on vacation. And sometimes you're unexpectedly hit with an illness. It doesn't have to be related to the pandemic. It can be.
Exactly. But we're there for you. That's the important thing.
That is very important. So, Yenedi, I'm cognizant of our time, and we have to always be aware of the clock. But to further encourage people, anybody who books a Ponant cruise with us through the end of September, all month long, folks, you've got all month, but book by September 30th. If you book with us, Dancing Moon will provide you with a very special thank you. Before you're sailing, we'll be giving you a DMT tote bag packed with cruise essentials, including 5-star rated binoculars, so you don't miss seeing a single thing. And this offer is good for our live audience and also for those of you who may be listening to an after we air performance or online. But you must book by September 30th to take advantage of this special offer. We're also going to be holding a drawing this week for our live audience. Just for those who are listening live this evening, we are going to offer we're featuring France, so I'm going to really splurge here. I'm going to offer a $50 gift card to the Melting Pot restaurant, the nearest you. You have to enter the word Ponant in the comments section right now. You have to be a live listener to the live broadcast. So if you're listening live, you can get your name in the pot for the Melting Pot. Yenedi, thank you again. This has been just such a wonderful program. You're always such a great guest, and we're so appreciative when you can join us. And it's always such a privilege to feature Ponant as our partner whenever we can snag you for an interview. So thank you again. And folks, thank you for listening in. Join us again next week. We'll be back with more about traveling to France, so you don't want to miss next week either. Thanks again, Yenedi, and bye, everybody.
Thank you, Pat, and thank you to all the listeners. I appreciate your time very much. Looking forward to seeing you on Ponant ship.
Bye now.